Okay. And whoop, whoop, oh, like that. Yes. Okay. Receiving your stream. You are live. Great. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I mentioned this in Discord already, but I clicked on Creator Studio to get ready to live stream, and everything was different. And YouTube's like, hey, check out our new... Like, no. Thankfully, I was able to find an option to go back to the way things were, you know, have been for years. Since the last time they scrambled everything. But they immediately interrogated, why are you changing it back to classic mode? Because I just want to stream. Don't want to learn a whole new system of doing everything. I don't need everything moved around in different places. Maybe I'm afraid of change. Ever think of that, YouTube? Huh? Somebody jabbed you with a pin. You look around, don't see anyone. This, naturally, has made you a little jumpy. So, somebody poked me? I mean, exact time when it happened. Poked it? Well, there's a pin here. Oh, On pins and needles. Plus 23% combat initiative. Huh. I guess somebody just injected me with speed boostingness. Okay, I'm cool with it. Whatever. Hey, how's it going? Okay, right. Step 1. Fantasyland Pass. Figuring out more of the Fantasyland as we go. But there's still so much to explore. Let me see. I did the mine. I did the chest. Oh, I hate the swamp monster. I actually kind of want to explore the graveyard more. I also really, you know, I haven't really explored the forest yet either. Not really. Even the cursed village. Like, I want to get the rope for the well. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna explore the mystical forest today. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's how we're gonna play it today. Then we'll go back to the future and play around in our spleen for a little bit. And then it's all out on the sea. So let me go ahead and pick some meat. Meat. Ball pit. Yeah, sure. Why not? Having a ball. Okay, then we're going to go over here. We're going to say, wait, no, I just bought it, so it should be in the recent... Somewhere? Where's the guest pass? I just bought it, so it should be here, right? Well, fine. If I go back to miscellaneous... What? Did I buy the wrong thing? Am I going crazy? I spent 140,000 meat. I know I bought a Fantasyland guest pass. I know I did. I know I did. I think I did. I'm sure I did. Where is it? Why can't I find it? What's the first letter in its name? Why can't I look it up? Why isn't it under recent items? If I bought the wrong thing, then I should see the wrong thing here. I don't see anything here. What in the world happened? Okay, let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go here. Guest, right? I searched. Fantasy Realm Guest Pass, right? I purchased the top one. So... Guest... Guest... Did the game cheat me? Well, I mean, I guess we'll just buy another one. And what else am I going to do? Okay. Fantasy Realm Guest Pass. Yes, definitely. Yeah, the game lost track and phased a Fantasy Realm Guest Pass out of existence on me. Fine. I didn't need all that money anyway. Alright, well, let's see. Okay, now I equip the thingy by taking off the thingy, the other thingy. Glad it didn't phase this out of existence. Then I wouldn't be able to go at all. Hey, how's it going? Alright, so we're on pins, having a ball, towering strength, wherever. Fantasyland's not going to know what hit it. Oh, doggone it. Sorry, one sec. I always forget I have to put the familiar back. Why do I have to give the familiar up? Why? I can't think of a reason. Not allowed to bring a whole keg around with me and just roll it about the land? Oh, crap. I'm forgetting something very important. Okay, take this off and put on my Lylco Premium Monocle. Yeah, that's a premium monocle there. Yay, a fat loot token. I seem to get one of those every day here. Alright, the Mystic Woods. Alright. Yes, I remember you. Cute little crazy lady. Suspended from a bungee cord. Okay. Still don't have the rope. Why I'd need that to go to the campsite, I'm not quite sure. Oh, right. Right, because it was down a ravine. Alright, we're going to go to the fairy circle. See, the first time I entered this place, it ended right here, and I couldn't go in. Yeah, fighting a quadcopter with a little picture of fairy. You notice that you're standing in a ring of mushrooms. As soon as you're done noticing that, the next thing you notice is a tinny, high-pitched giggle. A thing flies out of the trees and hovers in front of you. It's a drawing of a fairy on cardboard, zip-tied to a quadcopter drone. Tee-hee-hee, it giggles. And actually, it would be fun to go through a time hole and fly quadcopters around. They'd all be swearing that's what fairies look like. It'd be great. And you come back to now, and all the fantasy novels would be weirdly different. It would be great. It would be so much fun. Man, screwing with time is hilarious. Right up until the time cops bust your ass and undo everything you did. Stupid spoil sports. They don't even let you keep any of the stories or things you find in alternate timelines. They seize it as contraband. Anyway, rings of mushrooms, actually it's that you find those in lawns and things. I think it has to do with like a log from a tree or so. I forget why it happens. I had it explained to me once. Anyway, let's see what this quadcopter will do to me. It flies down, drip a bunch of oil on your neck, which is sleaze damage. That's not right. One of its propellers hits a nearby beam, showering you in hot spikes. Some electrical malfunctions transforms the incessant giggle into a horrifying low laugh. Fly around too quickly for you to aim properly. Just smash it. Let's see. This is pretty bad, actually. Eesh. So a quadcopter makes 3 attacks? How does that make sense? It flits annoyingly out of reach of your blow. Try hitting it again. Well, I would. Some electronic malfunction. Why is that? Oh, okay. A cloud of smog from a. You built it wrong. Whoever made that built it wrong. Shouldn't be doing that. I need starch. Yes, starch. A lot of people just selling ones of it today. Ah, well. Okay, a little bit stronger there. Alright, I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to fight this stupid quadcopter. If I can even fight it. But I got plenty of scrolls of dramatic healing. Is there anything I can do to... Well, I could go over here and, Thinking. Let's try... I'm going to use some red slime for the extra hit points. Some yellow slime for the added dodginess. I think I'm going to take multiple swings to hit it. Oh, look, I kept that. Cool! Oh, yeah, I got to do more. Yeah, okay. Sentinels. Sensitive journal. No, definitely not. Regenerating a little bit of hit points. That won't help me any. What's this? Plus 30% combat initiative. Alright, I guess we'll go with that. Anyway, hopefully this is good enough. Hopefully. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, the quadcopter coming long before you see it because its giggle audio has been gotten stuck on a loop. Better put this thing out of its misery fast before it drives you crazy. Okay, so it said I couldn't aim, just smash it. So I'm assuming physical attacks. First one is out of reach. Try hitting it again. Okay, 2 hits, it dies. Got it. Okay, I can do this. I have the drastic healing. I can take them out. Barely. Oh, there we go. That one got it. 3 rupees apiece. Nice. Oh, it's more random than I counted on. That's fine. You know what? That's fine. I can deal with that. Ooh, I wonder if I still have chalk dust. Let's see. No, I don't. I know I don't. Darn it, that would solve this problem. I'm too lazy to go to the spooky Vale Manor to get some. I'm just gonna keep bopping till I get the win. Oh. I dropped a saucepan in my eye. Only 29? What happened that time? Why'd that hit so soft? Oh. That was mildly embarrassing. All right. fairy hovers at you, tilted at an angle, making high-pitched whining sounds. Seems like the techs are running out of copters and trying to refurbish ones you've already beaten up. All right, we're done. We're done. Yes, we're done. At the center of the fairy circle, you encounter one of those things that's like an outdoor shower, but instead of water coming out, it's glitter. Sign says, stand under stream for protective fairy blessing. Some fine print underneath says the protective blessing is not guaranteed. In any case, it's only effective against ghouls. And only ghouls within a mile of the source of the blessing. There's a ghoul within a mile of this, is there? I'm going to take the dust with me. This item will disappear at the end of the day. Oh, come on. It's a cooking ingredient. You're 95% certain that this is just rainbow-colored glitter, but you hang on to it just in case. And also because now that you've touched it, you'll never be able to completely get it out of your clothes and hair. That's true. Glitter is forever. Glitter is eternal. Do not invite glitter into your home. If you have a child, make it clear to all gift-giving friends and family and mortal nemesis that under no circumstances are they to give your children that glitter, ever as a gift. Well, I won't get to see anything else new today. Oh well, we'll just smash some bandits in and collect a whole big old heap of rupees. We were getting 3 rubies apiece from the quadcopters, even though they were more of a pain in the butt than worth it. I'll just fight some orcs. We'll take out as many bandits as we possibly can. Can I get another loot token, please? I want another loot token. Alright. And orcs. I swear I only get 1 loot token out of this place per day at best. I wonder what people do with the loot tokens once they've bought the good stuff out of that thing. I wish. You're all used up. Alright. Let's get this garbage off our bodies now. Okay, I need my observational glasses. Whoa. Observational glasses and my monocle. Okay, there we go. So now it's time. You know what? I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to do everything today in it. So let me go ahead. One sec. There we go. Today is World Sparrow Day? What, in the game? Oh, okay. I was thinking aqua as in, you know, water. But no, it's agua. It's that. Yeah, they're cheap enough. Okay, let's go. Oh. There's a Sparrow Day? Do all avians have a day, or is it just sparrows? Let me know when my spedate bird has a worldwide day. The Mosquito Day. I don't have any way to use another one right now. It's fine. We are going to go use our bottles now. Okay. So, back to the future. You finally make your way to Hangar 1138. Just figures that you walked into a spaceport at Hangar 3. That's a long walk. and show your butt to the giant furry alien guarding it. He burbles a little, then says, "Smell bad." "Sorry, but at least I only smell bad on the outside." He snarls at you, but you slip into the ship. You're quickly joined by the smuggler, who introduces himself to the rest of his crew. There's a snotty princess, a whiny farm boy, and a senile old man. Well, you think to yourself, this is going to be exactly like the road trips with my folks growing up. Sure enough, within minutes of takeoff, the princess is complaining and the farm boy keeps putting his leg on her side of the seat, and the smuggler's threatening to turn the ship around. If you don't do something to distract yourself, you're going to go crazy. You see the old furry thing. Is that for some kind of board game set up? No! It'll rip my arms off. Or you can duck the old guy, who's currently muttering to himself in the corner. Old people are boring, but crazy people generally aren't. So maybe he'll be entertaining. I don't know what you're talking about. You ever get an old person talking? Like talking about, like, their life? Usually it's amazing. They lived through some shit. Let's go with that. In the sauce stream. You're in touch with the sauce, the mystical energy that unites all things. No matter what anyone tells you, it has absolutely nothing to do with microorganisms in your bloodstream. Oh, thank goodness! Or any other such nonsense. Mysticality plus 15%. Aha! Really? There is a World Mosquito Day. Okay, I someday I need to run for public office just so that I can make August 20th an official holiday for Alaska. Like everyone, you have to take the day off. It's Mosquito Day. It's in August. Like by then all the mosquitoes will be gone. It's not quite perfect. It needs to be in midsummer. Oh, no, early spring, right when they first come out. The big ones are in those early batches. Towards the end of summer, they get smaller and smaller to the point of irrelevancy. If you get a really good freeze in the winter, like it hits like 60 below or close to it for like a week, you won't see a lot of mosquitoes that summer because they'll have all died. Apparently they lay their eggs in the barks of trees or something really weird like that. Doesn't make much sense to me either, but what do I know? I sit down next to the old man. He's trying to think of a topic of conversation that would interest him. Perhaps the kids these days and their hippity-hoppity music. He turns to you and stares with a gaze that seems to look through you to the universe beyond the ship's hull. The sauce is strong with you. I am a sorcerer. The what now? The sauce. The delicious, mouth-watering, tangy, mystic energy that unites us all, from the smallest neutron to the biggest newt. So it's a mystical thing? I thought it was measured by the microorganisms. Shut your mouth! It's a mystical energy and it's strong in you. You want to learn how to control it, or am I just sitting here for my health? You agree you'd like to learn. The old man hangs a papier-mâché orb full of candy from a pulley. What he was gonna do with that's anyone's guess, and blindfolds you and hands you a stick. Now, reach out with your senses. Feel the sauce all around you, touching everything, permeating all with its flavor. Find the orb and strike it with your stick. You know what? I think this is a lot more interesting than the Force. It flavors everything. You just go around licking random objects to determine if they're the dark side or the light side. I support this. Let's go with this. Oh, don't worry. This is Alaska. The trees burn themselves for you and fill everything with smoke, so you have to wear a gas mask. Okay, it doesn't happen every year, but it has happened multiple times because forest fires. Yeah. For a while, they did a really good job all over the place of preventing forest fires. All over the U.S. I don't know if they were doing that up here with all the Smokey the Bear and everything. And then they realized, oh shit, forest fires are part of nature and they need to happen. They have to happen. By preventing them, there's a bunch of trees and things that literally can't reproduce and have their seeds. And there's this incredible buildup of flammable materials all over the place, so that when a forest fire will happen, oh shit! So, you know, nature, man. Nature is bullshit. Nature's like, I'm just gonna burn everything now. All fire. Bathe in fire. Bathe, just wade through smoke and ickiness in your air. Nature, you're supposed to be clean and pure and perfect. What are you doing? Nah, this is fine. This is necessary. It makes everything better. It's okay. We'll escape into space one day. It'll be great. We won't have to worry about this shit anymore. No more earthquakes. No more tsunamis. No more freaking wildfires. We'll have filters for our air. Of course, small children will have to be sent down to the planet to roll around in the dirt for a while. Otherwise, they'll develop allergies or something. Freaking nature. You can never completely detach yourself from it either. But we can try. We can come close. It takes a while, but you finally master the sauce enough to get to whack the orb open, spilling the candy out. You've done well, youngling, the old man says, naffing on a Daffy Taffy. Well, what, I don't get any of the candy? Oh, no, that is true. Black holes are nature. So are supernovas. So are regular novas. You know, stars build a funky shell on them and then they explode it off periodically. Novas. Just regular old novas. You know, one of those would wipe out all life on Earth. Just the sun at any time. Any time could just be like, oh, by the way, nova, pfft, you're all dead. You don't have to. All those sci-fi, they're like, yes, the world ends in 100 billion trillion quadrillion years when the sun turns red and expands. No. Just one day, it's just going to go, it's just going to fart. And that'll be it for all life on this planet. That'll be it. Sleep well tonight, knowing this. You're welcome. Yeah, we can't escape into space soon enough. Also, a nova will frickin' wreck your Dyson sphere. Oh, fighting a handyman. Yeah, well, I wasn't a big fan of BioShock Infinity, so bleh. Wait, aren't I on a spaceship? Is it? An equinox where? It's not an equinox up here, as far as I know. I mean, maybe it is. I don't exactly celebrate the equinoxes. Excuse me, I was on a spaceship with Han Solo and... I am really disappointed right now. It just cut me back to the beginning. I'm actually really disappointed. That wasn't an ending. Hold on. Did I do something? 1 second. I must have done something wrong. Hold on. That can't be right. Kingdom of Loathing. What is it? In the bottle? No. What is this called? Uptown girls who are living in a white bread world. Na, 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 na. Okay. Corners. In the corners of your mind. Okay, I need to see this. Okay, what is going on? Memories of a distant future. Blah, 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 combat. Time isn't holding up. Time is a donut. Just a sec. Painful, circuitous logic. Give it a shot. Okay. Play with the fuzzball. Talk to the geezer. Hit the holodeck. Practice diplomacy. Nothing? That's it. It literally is a dead end there. Nothing happens after that. I can't believe it. Wait, no. There's a future quest that needs to be active. Wait a second. What is this? You journeyed through time to future megalopolis events and found you the savior of mankind. Okay, hold on a second. There's a quest I didn't activate somehow? Wait, how do I start it? It doesn't say how to start it. Oh, wait a minute. I think I've done things out of order. Okay. Okay, I think I know what's going on. I was supposed to do the memories of the distant past before doing the distant future. Okay. It's fine. We'll just go to one of the dead ends again. We'll just go to one of the dead ends again, and then we'll come back. We'll try the Joker this time. Violet Hut invitation. I should have read that. A buzzing in your neural implant reminds you it's time for the hunt. You head to the uptown elevator building. Show the receptionist your invitation, the middle finger. Take the elevator up. Susan, blah, 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 blah. The Violet Corporation's genetically engineered animal sanctuary. Oh my gosh. In sci-fi universes, you could have truly impressive hunts. Why have I never seen that before? Just bioengineering horrible monsters, like a bunch of rich huntsmen. They'd breed crazy dogs and hawks and other weird things to hunt with. They'd land on some planet and just release horrible creatures and then hunt them down. And there could be indigenous people on the planet they don't care about. Oh my gosh, you could make such interesting stories out of this. You could have a person who was grabbed and transformed into one of the genetically engineered monsters, or you could do one with the people living on the world where they keep doing this. And things that are sometimes they don't hunt the things down, so there's weird creatures living on your world now. I mean, you could do... Oh man, this has so much story potential. This could be amazing. As you join the crowd of hunters, someone passes a laser crossbow into your hand. What? I mean, I know Chewbacca kind of, but laser crossbow just doesn't make a lot of sense. The man on the podium begins to speak. Friends, I'm Jonas Tucker. Due to the sale of our genetically engineered life-inhibiting virus... What? To the Indigo Corporation, we're able to bring you a humdinger of a hunt this year. We've engineered 2 animals especially for tonight's hunt. A mystical, legendary, beautiful unicorn and an adorable, living, speaking teddy bear. Wow, whichever one you choose, you're going to a special level of hell. Seriously? What? You didn't engineer a giant bear velociraptor hybrid that's riding a horse that's also a dinosaur with, like, machine guns for hands? I guess I'll just kill the unicorn then. We don't have a unicorn in idling to rule the gods yet. Oh my gosh! Quick! Get Rio! We have to have a word with him! When Tucker releases the unicorn from its cage, you join the party that runs after it. It's an amazing beast, snow white, massive, its horn wobbling ever so slightly as its hooves pound the earth. It reminds you of a dream you had this one time where there was a unicorn running in slow motion. Huh, deja vu. No, that's probably just an Enya video. You and your fellow hunters quickly lose sight of the unicorn, though, and you get separated from the group while you're tracking it. Finally, you spot it drinking from a stream running through the sanctuary. It tosses its mane, water droplets spraying, a brief rainbow forming. Pew, 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 good shot! I want it as a mount. I want to ride the thing while shooting my laser crossbow lasers at, I don't know, whatever shows up. I didn't even get to have it as a battle. Mr. Tucker walks up to you, surveying your handiwork. You know, he says, voice grumbling ominously, they say that drinking a unicorn's blood will extend your life, even if you're at the point of death, but that you'd live a cursed half-life. But you genetically engineered it, so it's not even... He dips a wine goblet into the silvery stuff coming out of the unicorn. That's why we at Violet Corp replaced the unicorn's blood with genetically engineered cocktail of brain, body, and mind enhancers. Turns them into high-tech, squishy pinatas. Have a sip. You take a sip. It's delicious. Thank goodness you weren't squeamish about riddling that searing unicorn with searing, gaping, charred holes. Oh. Okay. I'll actually be awake at that time. Maybe I'll celebrate by not remembering that it's happening. All right, to the distant past. The story so far. Your vision is temporarily obscured by cascading ribbons of light in double helix formations, as your head fills with the memories of previous glories, not your own, and yet as familiar to you as yesterday. Your hands flex involuntarily as you experience a curious doubling sensation. For although the weapon you grip is your trusty Windsor pan of sauce as always, you also feel the leather-wrapped hilt of a longsword, notched and worn from countless battles. Do I start shouting Crom? It is a trustworthy blade, a masterful craftsmanship, but one that is inevitably destined to be lost or discarded in favor of a better one. This sword has no name, no magical powers, no legend or legacy, but for its association with the wielder, the mighty barbarian Hadriex, paragon of the ancient forefather of adventurers. Yeah, well, it's going to be a weird day, because all the things are like, yes, I'm ready to fight a barbarian with a sword, and why is he casting sauce at me? I'm still in the sauce stream. Hadriex is known as a legend among legends, the only name remembered from the prehistory of Loathing. In time so long past, it was forgotten even by the ancient historians, who have themselves been forgotten in the modern ages. It was a time of the first human settlement ever to land on the shores of the dark continent, known only as Loathing. And this single warrior, this mighty barbarian, was all that stood between the seaside village and the evils that lurked in the mighty jungles and ancient ruins of this land. Are we going to go to the ancient ruins before it was ruined? Because that would be cool. It was a time that was, in short, a great deal more dramatic than what you're used to. The barbarian Hadriex protected Seaside Village and its inhabitants, not out of a sense of duty or goodwill, but almost as an afterthought, a side effect of his insatiable lust for adventure and exploration of the unknown. And bloodlust. which all the adventurers to this day share. All the adventurers are barbarians. A side effect of his let's see. He had set forth from distant lands with the aim of conquering the unconquerable, of taming the untamable. If he must occasionally also protect a meek coastal village, which was the only place he could get a beer when he was finished taming and conquering, well, it's a small bit of worthwhile hassle. On this day, Hadriex, which is to say you, journeyed south along the coast from Seaside Village, intent on exploring an ancient ruin that stood on the jungle's border. We are going to that place. It was already an ancient ruin? Jeez. How much prehistory do we have? On the rocky outcropping at the edge of the ocean, a strange and terrible plague had been afflicting the local pork elf tribes. The symptoms were observed to be prolonged and painful muscle spasms and fits of coughing, followed by the liquefaction of the victim's entire body into nothing more but a puddle of black slime. This was invariably fatal, and also the origin of slimes, who have conventions now. Seaside Village has not yet been affected by the disease, perhaps due to the pork elf's secretive ways and disinterest in trade or diplomacy. Though it was surely only a matter of time. Rumor had it that the ancient ruin that stood on the jungle's borders on a rocky outcropping at the edge of the ocean had recently been the site of activity of strange men in black hooded robes. Is there a place which isn't? Is there a single place that isn't the site of activity of such men? The city was all that remained of a long-vanished earlier civilization of which the pork elves refused to speak. It would make an excellent base of operations for any evil cult that might recently have formed. Hadriex reasoned. For cultists to appear in the jungle at the same time as the outbreak of the plague was surely no coincidence. Then again, there are probably always cultists appearing in the jungle, so, you know, as the barbarian resolved to find out what was going on and put a stop to it. A jungle baboon. Hadriex prowled silently through the forest, careful to avoid attention. He was not the only hunter in the place. Indeed, the jungle was teeming with predators, both humanoid and animal. By keeping a careful eye both ahead and behind him, he was certain to avoid any possible ambush. Or at least that was his plan, anyway, until a giant angry monkey jumps out of a tree under your head. Okay. Well. Oh. It's probably just going to fling poo at me for stink damage if I let it. So I won't. Oh, what's this? Go north or leave? This is the entrance to the ancient city, built uncountable ages ago by a race of people, unnamed and long vanished. The jungle was largely reclaimed the space, with bright green moss and vines almost completely obscuring the ruined and crumbling stone structures, particularly this close to the city borders. Despite this, there was an eerie, hushed quality to the area. The constant noise of birds and small animals in the undergrowth faded away into the distance as Hadriex approached the city. As he stepped under the crumbling arch into the city proper, even the wind whistling through the trees grew still. The narrow, shadowy street led between ancient stone walls to the north, where it appeared to open into a more spacious area. Okay, let's go north. We're not going to talk about alabaster walls. We're not going to talk about how it's super rich people in palaces and slums, and that's like everything. That's like the entire planet. No? Okay. This does indeed appear to be the main square of the city. Grass grows between the ancient cobblestones of the plaza, but with a few buildings immediately to hand. Yep, okay. Noting points of possible interest, pair of buildings, relatively intact. To the west, we have a tall tower that was a lighthouse. To the north, we have a tall wall that conceals some sort of edifice. And right here, there's an odd stone wall. Well, let's jump into the well. Oh my gosh, so many options. This was perhaps the central water source for the inhabitants of the small city. Though the stonework is solid, any wooden structure it might have once had to support the bucket is long gone. Well, I'm going to climb down the well. I mean, obviously. It looks reasonably climbable to a certain extent, but after a point it turned into a drop into empty space into an underground lake. Oh, he refuses. I wish I could go down there. Krakox sneered at the idea. Wishes? Wishes are for fairies and elves. Oh, okay. Well, fine. I'll go west. Oh my gosh! The western and northern ends of the city are comparatively untouched by the advancing jungle. Time conquers all, however, and the weathered stonework shows signs of having once been elaborately and artistically engraved, but erosion of wind and rain have reduced the details to mere shadows. I guess I will go to the south. As you surmise, this low building is undoubtedly a warehouse, or at any rate used to be. The large room is carpeted with dust, fragments of ancient pottery, what once have been sacks of grain, where the grain was all stolen by animals, and the sacks grew so old that they crumbled into dust at a glance. Memory of a grappling hook. Krakox's eye picked out a jumble of metal in the corner. You know, I already have a grappling hook in my inventory. Oh well. Most of it proved to be useless implements of various types, and what useful ones they were so rusty that they broke under their own weight. However, after a little more searching, the barbarian turned up a useful implement indeed, a grappling hook, wrapped in a scrap of ancient oiled leather that had protected the metal well enough that it still had some life in it. Nearby you discover a coil of thick rope that, rather than disintegrating your touch like you might have expected, seems to still be reasonably strong. Through some agency of some skill of craftsmanship that is doubtless lost today, you tie the grappling hook to one end and sling the coil over your shoulder. Finding the quiet of the ancient city to be disquieting, Krakox decided to return to the jungle for a bit to stretch his legs, or rather, his sword. This is an elderly, but nevertheless capable grappling hook, tied to 20 or 30 feet of stout rope. I mean, insofar as you can remember. Well, okay, I can't use it, so I'll have to use it probably to get down the well. An ancient guardian statue. As he pushed through the dense jungle undergrowth, Krakox came upon an ancient weathered statue, a rough, blocky representation of a human form. Presumably the builders of the ancient city had placed them around to ward off evil spirits and the like. As its eyes suddenly flashed with green light and its head slowly turns to face you. Enter Krakox. Man, these temporal shifts will have been the death of me. It occurs to you that they might want to ward off living creatures as well. I bet there's a time hole around here somewhere. This seems like something from the far future. Blast it. A cavern? But I'm not done with the city. Come to the edge of the jungle and stand on a rocky bluff overlooking the sea. Below you, you notice the mouth of the cave. Climb down for a closer look. Pausing to allow your eyes time to adjust to the dim light, Krakox examines the cave entrance, which appears to be the opening of a large cavern complex. The barbarian crouched to study some tracks scratched in the dirt and dust, then inhaled deeply, tasting the air. There was no doubt about it. This was the lair of a wumpus. Ha! Hunt the Wumpus, one of the earliest PC games ever made. And I mean that. It's like super... I mean, it's definitely a step up from the Computer Genie, but it's pretty old. Pretty freaking old. Also, I believe they did a cycle of cards of various Wumpuses in Magic the Gathering. A Wumpus is a fearsome beast. You gotta use an arrow to kill it. Renowned amongst hunters for its swift, cunning, and brutal killing machine. They're solitary creatures, each making a lair within a deep cavern to confuse and trap its prey. A strong hunter might have a fair chance against one, but only if he can manage to take it by surprise. If the Wumpus becomes aware of your presence, the hunter will become the hunted, and that inevitably means death. Always up for a challenge, Crackox grinned and cracked his knuckles. So I have to figure out what chamber it's in and shoot an arrow into that chamber. Really? It is? Hold on. Let me... You mean that thing that looks like a controller? You mean that thing that looks like a controller that's the logo? Is that supposed to be a Wumpus? Okay. The chamber was much narrower in the west of the cavern complex, so much so that Crackox was forced to turn sideways to fit his muscular bulk through the tighter parts of the tunnel. Fortunately, the adjacent chambers turned out to be a much more comfortable size. Well, moaning. Looked up in the next room of the cavern. Your ears prick up at the sound of the low, mournful wail that echoes eerily from the walls of the chamber. Hopefully, it's just produced by the echoes of the wind from the tunnels. That's your hope, at least. I'm trying to stick to rooms that have sound in them already to help me mask my own sound. Crackox strode into another chamber. There's not much I can do about my big barbarian musk, but this chamber was particularly humid, and rhythmic dripping and splashing of new stalactites being formed echoed from the rocky cavern walls in an oddly musical fashion. You hear a low roaring sound nearby, an echo of wind in empty space. Okay, already did the moaning. Echoing? That wouldn't be smart. Let's try the creepy chamber. Hold on one sec. Oh. Looks like a teddy bear. Huh. Okay. Alright. Oh. Okay, yes. Guess it's more like a pig thing, actually. Huh. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Neat. I did not know that. Stepping in this chamber of the cavern, you note that the stalagmites and other rock formations here cast eerie shadows and resemble faint beasts, tentacled monstrosities, and other horrors. Except for the one over there, which looks like a bunny. The rest of them, though. Brr. Crackox stepped in the next chamber, and his foot touched nothing but empty air. Desperately, he twisted around to attempt to grab the lip of the pit he found himself falling into, but his hand clutched only loose gravel, and he fell backwards into the darkness. That can't be right. You're pretty sure Crackox lived to a ripe old age and didn't die by falling down a pit in a dark cavern in the middle of nowhere. In fact, history records that he died from injuries resulting from a drunken ball with a tavern wench's boyfriend at the age of 73. The handbrake on his wheelchair broke after he ran over the guy's head several times, and on the way home he accidentally rolled off the side of a mountain. Anyway, my point is, maybe you should try that again. Alright, back into the Forgotten City. Let me see. I'm going to try to climb down the well now that I've got a grappling hook. Aha! Crackox secured the grappling hook to the side of the well and carefully lowered himself down. The small vertical tunnel soon opened into a cavernous chamber of an underground lake, the roof supported by a ring of stone pillars. The rope was not nearly long enough to reach the surface of the water, and Crackox paused momentarily to judge the risk of a dive. Then a gigantic octopus tentacle whips out of the lake and wraps around your torso. You get the jump on it. How? How is that me getting the jump on something? Take a deep breath as the octopus pulls you under the water. Doesn't seem to have much of a plan past that, so you just hold your breath for a bit. Yeah, octopi are actually, their musculature just, they cannot handle fighting a human. Their bodies just, they don't have skeletons or anything for the kind of leverage we can get. Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Blast it. Coughing and gasping your breath. You make your way out of the city and let your closed equipment dry. Oh man, that's it? I just fight an octopus? Come on. I got a grappling hook and everything. Surely we could get more than that. Yeah, yes, definitely. Perhaps a blessed hand grenade? A sacred one? We'll have to look into that. There's a whoosh of air and a small thunk as a long, thin dart appears quivering in the side of a tree, inches from your face. You spin around as a primitive goblin, bedecked in parrot feathers and stone beads, jumps out of the bushes, waving a spear at you and gibbering angrily. Growling, Crackrox drew his sword, and you draw your Winderpan of Source. This is going to get confusing, isn't it? These little jerks are everywhere in the jungle, and never cease to be an annoyance. Mysticality +6 accessory. Well, that's garbage. Alright, we got one more. Evil cultist! Steps out of the bushes, a man in black robes, and around to face you. An intruder! Hello. Trespasser! I guess, yeah. Mind telling me what you guys are doing out here? You think I would betray my Dark Master's secrets? Well, I was kind of hoping. Never! He shouted, pulling a thin dagger from his sleeve. I'll die first! Sure looks that way. Come on. Get me back in the Wumpus Cave. There we go. Okay, into the cavern. Let's take another direction. Windy. None of these sound noisy. Oh, well, we'll go to vaulted. Gives the room a appearance of a Gothic cathedral. Well, a slightly melty one, but still. Underground? Turn to the next chamber. It's like all the others. It was underground. You hear the fluttering of wings and a high-pitched going something nearby. I say sparkling. Eyes widen as you step through a chamber of the cavern and are met with a sight of countless sparkling dots of light, outcroppings of natural crystal rock formations in the room, reflecting the dim light like a galaxy of distant stars. The effect is quite beautiful, but unfortunately you don't have time for sightseeing. Fetid. Your barbarian's eyes begin to water from the stench. Yep. The Wumpus's cesspit, huh? I think the quiet chamber was the one that got me last time, right? Or was it the gloomy one? I hope it wasn't the gloomy one. I heard it squeak from somewhere nearby. Blast him. Okay. Well, we're here again. Alright. Well, Okay, so we did the warehouse. Stone tower stands 100 feet tall. If it's an inch, as you can tell, it's almost entirely intact. Almost being the operative word. The interior of the tower proves to be completely choked with debris. Apparently, the inner floors and staircases collapsing long ago. If anything is to be found at the top of the tower, Crackrox would realize he would have to scale the outer wall. A daunting prospect, but not an insurmountable one, certainly. Yeah, Conan could really climb. Certainly not for an experienced climber such as yourself. The stone walls offer plenty of handholds, and the structure as a whole had a slight but perceptible taper as it reaches the top, making it relatively easy compared to many of his past climbing achievements. You spin on your palms, rub them together and start climbing, one handhold after another, one foothold after another. You progress up the towers, steady and unflagging, until suddenly, when you're about halfway up, a deafening screech tears the air. A gigantic bird-like creature, neither a giant vulture nor a winged lizard, but with aspects of both and a wingspan fully twice as long as Crackrox himself, swooped through the air, diving directly at the barbarian. The creature did not strike, instead turning aside at the last second and continuing its flight around the tower. But the wind of its passing tore Crackrox's grip from the stone wall, and he fell tumbling through the air. Nearly wrenching your arm out of the socket, you manage to momentarily grab a protruding brick as you fall. You quickly lose your grip again, but your descent is slowed enough that you manage to catch more temporary holds and scramble your way down the stone tower, landing at the bottom, bruised but unbroken. The giant bird or lizard or whatever is wheeling around the top of the tower and screeching again. Hadriex cursed it and every one of its ancestors, rubbing his hands and panting for breath. Feeling his attention span wane, he wandered back to the jungle for something to beat up, because of course he did. I want to keep exploring the town. Alright, well, we're back in the town again. Let me see. Giant bird lizard thing still swooping around the tower. Midday sun shines brightly down the crumbled ancient stone arch to the north, flanked by two statues which have been quite impressive in their day, but arose in a time of weathered them down to barely discernible humanoid forms for the past. Yeah, I know, look at them. They're just stick figures now. And gate stone wall, still surprisingly intact for its age. Hadriex stood before the massive stone wall, 20 feet tall, circling an elaborate stone building visible through gaps in the iron gate. The wall is perfectly vertical, smooth and sheer, as though it was chiseled from one gigantic block. Well, I have a grappling hook. Oh, Hadriex thought it was probably unlikely. His knowledge of masonry wasn't deep enough to make a better guess. The bars of the gate were tempered iron, and thick as Hadriex's wrist, and discolored with rust, but still quite solid. It was in the fashion of the portcullis, slotted into shallow grooves in the opening in the wall, and sunk into a deep slot in the stone below. On left and right of the gate, you note two geometrically shaped holes in the stonework, each a couple inches across. Above the left hole, a stone lever juts out of the wall in the up position. A slot for a similar lever is on the right, but the lever itself is missing. Kick! Gave it a mighty kick. The metal rang dully with the vibration, but made no sign of moving. Pull the lever! Okay. Okay, alright. Did that. North. Wow, there's nothing left for me to do in the city. Okay, nope, nothing else there. Alright, Mr. Wumpus. Aho! Step in the next chamber, about which I can't really think of much to say. The walls are rough natural stone, the stalactites and stalagmites scattered about. It's a cave, you know. Spatters of blood covering the floor. An overpowering stench indicates that the Wumpus must be nearby. Tread carefully. You'll only get one chance to make good your attack. I just have to guess which one it's in, huh? Yeah, I still have the grappling hook, I think. I must, because it didn't give me another one, so... I have no hints as to which chamber it's in. Well, I've never been to the pillared chamber. Oh my gosh, I successfully snuck up and surprised the Wumpus. It really doesn't even know how to react. Oh, it looks like it's decided to slash your guts open with its razor-sharp fangs and claws. That sounds like a pretty good strategy. Not against me, it's not. Ha 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 ha. A memory of a glowing crystal. You found this glowing crystal in the cave of the Wumpus. I mean, Hadriex did. Looked like the sort of thing that might come in handy. And Wumpus hair. Had some of the hair of the Wumpus that bit you. Doesn't seem to help much. Seem to be helping with your headache very much, though. What headache, you ask? The one caused by wondering how you came to the possession of this tuft of hair from a Wumpus killed thousands of years ago by a famous barbarian ancestor of yours. Also doesn't seem to have any... It just says usable. It doesn't say what it does. Alright. Well, what can I do with the glowing crystal? It's a light source. Ah, crap. No, I want more. Alright, time for the sea. I guess we might as well just jump in the sea now. Pop the old scuba tank on. Oh, I've been forgetting somebody this whole time. Whoops. Seriously, stop making me de-equip my familiar. It's annoying. Okay, there's something else I have to use. It's, Centauri fish wine. In fact, let me make sure I buy another one. Half my remaining cash, but it's worth it. Alright, to the sea floor. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Thanks a lot for rescuing me. While I was stuck in the hold, I did find a couple of interesting things. This, for instance, is a rock that makes bubbles. I don't have any use for it. I doubt I'd be able to sell it, so I guess it's a reward for helping me out. So, Sonic the Hedgehog would be happy to carry that around. I've already got a scuba tank, though. I don't know what I need it for. Papa was one of these. No, I'm thinking of something else. This is a piece of pumice that seems to have some kind of perpetual motion bubble factory inside. We all know how difficult it is to get blood from a stone, but who knew how easy it was to get air from one? Yeah, it's really hard to squeeze blood out of a rock. I mean, you have to really squeeze, and by the time it finally starts bleeding, your hands are usually raw and all messed up. It's no fun. What is this? Sand dollars? This is the sand dollar, the currency of choice for all intelligent underwater beings, except dolphins. Nobody's quite sure what their monetary system is based on. I hate the dolphins down here. Well, crap. Ugh. I feel like I need these, but I have no way to get them. Location of the Madness Reef. I need these maps. Dolphin whistle. This is a whistle whose little bell is calibrated perfectly for making dolphin noises. Not that you'd ever want to attract a dolphin. Dolphins of Loathing are mean, greedy, and wholly lacking in moral fiber. They'd just as soon beat you senseless as jump through a hoop for your amusement. Rusty valve wheel, that seems like that would be important. Probably I need that for something. Giant fish hook, probably need that too. Oh, hey, is this the boot the old man wanted? This old boot, it played knick-knack for weeks on the ocean. From looks of it, not that it was probably in particularly good shape before the old man dropped it. Well, we found the end of our quest. Oh, hey, the Marinara Trench. Golly, lady, you sure are good at finding people. Want to help me find Grandpa? He's getting pretty old, and sometimes he wanders off by himself and can't find his way home. It's crummy and sad, but boy, we sure like him, and it'd be swell to have him back. Maybe we could check over by the Marinara Trench. He's been talking about that place a lot. Here you go, lady. Here's a map for you. Guy. As you're puttering around the trench, you notice some movement out of the corner of your eye. On a ledge about a third of the way down. You come closer to investigate and see a wizened-looking sea monkey kneeling and studying something on the surface of the ledge. Judging by his apparent age and gender, you conclude that this is, in fact, the grandpa you're looking for. Hey there, old man, you say, before realizing that sound doesn't travel far enough underwater for him to be able to hear you. You move closer to say it again. Before you can get up to him, he abruptly stands up and steps off the ledge, disappearing deeper into the trench. Doggone it. Here I thought I had gotten lucky and would just get him right off. Oh, well, it's fine. I'll just, before I do this, I need to look around somewhere in here. Okay, the broccoli, boom! 50% hit points for quite a while. Okay, combined with the royal... Well, that won't help any. Let's see. Nutrients rich for 100 adventures. Funny thing is, I'm not seeing... There it is. Okay, good. Okay, what else do we want to add to this? Alright, I'm going to eat some meat sticks. Alright, plus 80% booze and food drops, you know, just in case there's anything interesting down here. It's the highest level area I seem to have access to. Okay, next up. Elven hardtack? No. What else? What else? What else? Aha! Boom! 30 adventures of all kinds of awesomeness. Okay. I'll eat a rook cookie as well, for just a little bit more towering strength. Okay. I think this is enough buffs to get me by for the time being. I hope. Better be. I have more than 1,000 hit points right now. I better be strong enough for this place. Whew. Yeah, that hit pretty hard, but it doesn't matter. That's odd. You hardly ever see Merkin down this far. I wonder what he's up to. But after a little while, your wonder is replaced by alarm at the fact that he's just noticed you, and then your alarm is replaced by anxiety about the big pointy spear he raises in your direction. He slices you from the face to the arm, then rubs some sea salt in the wound. Who boy, are these guys jerks. Did they need to? I'm already in salt water. Yeah. Oh man, look at those stats. I can one-shot anybody down here. A diving bell! This is a decaying corpse of a southern belle who threw herself into the ocean after being jilted by a suitor, or perhaps after contracting consumption, or a particularly serious case of the vapors. Now she's doomed to eternally roam the deepest trenches of the sea in a hopeless quest for vengeance, or for a cure, or for a dehumidifier? Wow, a dehumidifier would have a hard job under the sea. Hadriex, Hadriex, where shall I go? What shall I do? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a rat's ass. Doggone stupid things. This would make me a better diver. What does that mean? What does that mean? I guess I'll never know because a freaking dolphin stole it. God, I hate the dolphins. Wait till I find where the dolphins live. This is a giant squid. Well, let me call a whale to eat it. While your time spent talking to sailors might make you scared of these things, consider the facts. A normal squid is only like a foot long, so a giant squid like this one is only about the size of a dachshund, which isn't actually all that scary. Show me one the size of a Dachshund, and I'll show you something scary. Yeah. Also, they'll give whales indigestion and cause them to create ambergris, which is really gross. Kings used to eat that for some reason, and people like to smear it all over themselves to this day. For some reason. It tries to attach one of its suckers to your eye, but there's no way you're falling for that one again. So it's trying to do like a Three Stooges skit with me. Tries to hit you with one of its tentacles, but midway through the attack, it forgets which one it was using. Tries to bite you with its beak. Man. But you always like Bill Nye better. Oh, who actually knows what this is a reference to? Go on. Anybody? No, nobody. Absolutely no one. Beakman's World. It was a science show with a guy with a rat suit and other stuff. I tried watching it more recently, and it doesn't seem as good as I remembered. But when I was small, I loved Beakman's World. And then when I got to, then in the public school, they kept showing Bill Nye, and I was a small little child. Me was like, oh, this is lame. Why can't we watch Beakman's World? This is just a knockoff of Beakman's World. Yeah, I was that kid. Thunk. Man, that's obscure. Beakman, he taught me how to make fake glass, among other... Oh, did I get him already? You run into Grandpa again, this time running his hands through some strange rock formations on the wall of the trench. You approach him and get his attention. Yeah, that guy. Beakman's World, though. Beakman's World. It was a sillier show. Much sillier. Hey there, old-timer. Your family misses you. They'd like you to come home. Looks up from his work and regards you squinting. Bah! And then turning back the wall and continue to do whatever it is he's doing. No, seriously, I told your grandson I'd come and get you. You should come back with me. Ma! Which, back in my day at least, was an expression of dismissal. Oh, thank you to leave me to my exploration. What are you looking for exactly? Not sure. Know when I see it, though. And it sure as hell isn't some snot-nosed whippersnapper trying to tell me what to do and where to go. With one last bah, he takes his leave, swimming down further into the darkness of the trench. Bullshit! Grab his leg, drag him back to the other sea monkeys. I don't even care what he thinks. All my stuff is just being taken by dolphins. I really need an anti-dolphin beam. Very near the bottom of the trench. Wow, we can survive the pressure down there? You catch up to the grandpa again. This time he sees you coming and starts being crotchety before you can even open your mouth. I'm nearly done, you punk kid. I'll head back to the castle and to my my damned rocking chair before too long, and your little task will be complete. But first, I want to show you something. Alright, show me what you found. He doesn't say a word. He just steps out around an outcropping of rock and motions for you to follow, and then points at... Wow, he points at one of the most amazing things you've ever seen. And given that you live in a world with almost no sense of continuity or realism, you've seen some pretty freaking amazing things in your time. You see the apparent source of the trench. The river that scraped it out of the ocean floor over countless centuries. It's no ordinary river, though. It's a river of sauce, glowing with the heat of the planet's core. The oldest, hottest, purest sauce you've ever encountered. Sauce with a capital S. But then, you knew that from the previous two sentences. Look back at Grandpa. Deep sauce. Pretty cool, huh? Do you kids still say cool these days? Say, you know a thing or two about sauce, don't you? Take some. I do. No. Only people in their 30s use the word cool anymore. It's a pretty cool word, though. You young whippersnappers don't deserve a word like this. You have to make up your own. Go redefine some other word. He produces a small glass globe and hands it to you. Pressure globe. Those American bastards carry him. Keeps the deep sauce contained, so you can leave with it. Give it a shot. You take the globe, uncork it, and collect a quantity of the sauce. Da-da-da-da. This is a pressurized globe filled with deep sauce from the furthest reaches of the sea. If there was a little ceramic model of a town inside it, you'd have lots of fun subjecting them to a devastating and delicious natural disaster. Fancy cooking ingredient. Groovy. Far out. Marv. Well, I'm satisfied. I'll head home now. Stop by later if you like. You can help me apply my ointment. Just kidding, it's actually liniment. See ya, punk. Well, so much for Cranky Kong. As he leaves, turn your attention to the globe of deep sauce. It's beautiful. It's perfect. You can't wait to start experimenting with deep saucery. Well, now. Where is it? There it is. You've beheld the deep sauce. You've heard the songs it sings. You feel what it feels. You know what it knows. And most importantly, you understand how to cook with it. Lets you cook with deep sauce. Now, what could I do with deep sauce? It's not listed. Why is it not listed? Alright, shit. Do you make... No, you couldn't make cocktails. What? I got deep sauce, now what? Yeah, I didn't think so. Alright. What does it fall under? Fancy cooking ingredient. Oh, I bet I'm missing the equipment to cook with it. I bet I have to buy some kind of upgraded super thing for cooking. Probably. Yeah, I bet that's what it is. To the markets. What would it be under the general? Okay, probably the dramatic range here. Probably this. Right? Okay, alright, let me see. I just bought them. Where are they? There it is. Use that. Making just about swanky as an outdoor kitchen can be. You already have a fancy oven in your kitchen? Well then what's the problem? Where's the deep sauce? I'll look into that later. I'll figure out what's up with that later. Well, thank you. For a minute there, I thought the game forgot what the rest of the map looked like. Eh? What do you want? Story. How do I get sand dollars? How about dolphin? Crap. I don't know how to get sand dollars. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask Google. Okay. By the way, sand dollars are not a thing you'd want to step on. Come on. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's a gigantic list of words I could type in, and he'll say things. Huh. Huh. Just a gigantic, enormous list of things I can type in. Alright, let's try some. Why would you think to ask him this? I don't know. Don't talk to me about those wizard fish, young'un. Bunch of stuck-up, pretentious, scaly little bastards, if you ask me. Alright, I'll tell you about it. Whether you like it or not, I was the first and last sea monkey to attend their school of magic. On the way to the school, I met this young fish with a scar on his head. Uh-huh. I figured the other fish had shunned him because he looked like a freak with that scar. And with the floppy hair that he had, I mean, hair on a fish just ain't natural. Look, I'm at the lounge lizard fish, if you don't believe me. Anyway, I'd tell this kid I'd be his buddy and look out for him. If he looked out for me, I told him to watch out and not get involved with the wrong kind of wizard fish. I mean, some of those fish are into the drugs and the Satanism and all that. Well, you know what he said to me? He says, I think I can tell the wrong kind of wizard fish for myself, thank you. Well, from that day on, that hairy wizard fish did everything he could to drub me out of the school. I'd be walking around the schoolyard minding my own business, and before I knew it, he'd be up in my face talking all kinds of nonsense. I tried to go out for sports. He did his best to knock me around on the field. I'd rat him out for sneaking around after hours, and he'd cheat his way into winning the house cup. All the teachers took his side, and most of the students did too. Still, I ain't no quitter. Stuck with it. But the last straw was when he got one of his little girlfriends to beat me up. Little snot-nosed punk couldn't even do it himself. After that, I figured there weren't any magic worth learning that was worth putting up with him, and I got out of there before they blamed me for trying to kill the headmaster fish. Some other trumped-up nonsense. Only spell I ever learned was Avius Ticklium, which I can tell you is not the most useful spell. Tickles birds? I'll try spells next. What? Oh, that spell I learned from that stupid wizard fish school. Look, you just wave your hand a little bit now. Don't be so apologetic, youngster. Wave it like you care, and shout the magic words. See? Isn't hard, is it? I don't know why you need the whole school to teach you stuff like this. Here, I'll make up a spell now. Herbum non-clomotis. It'll keep the kids off my lawn, you see? Oh. Herbum non-locomotis. Yep. So it seems. Well, I don't know anything about that, but it does recall to mind extremely long, uninteresting story about the time me and three-time Ralph were playing hooky from school and... Hey, where are you going? Oh, come on! Alright. Let me look over at my cheat sheet now. For some reason, I'd think to ask him eel. I don't know that this is getting me anywhere, but this is entertaining at least. Super entertaining. Let me tell you something, young'un, and you best listen and listen good. If you want to have a good time out of the sea, it's always a good idea to take an eel with you. Me and Noobly Bob used to hang out with an eel. Pizza Pie, we called him, because he was a moray. Get it? That's a moray. You don't get it? You never heard of that song? What are they teaching kids in schools these days? Anyway, Pizza Pie wasn't one of those fancy electric eels that you have these days. No! Back in the day, eels all ran off of steam. Steam eels, we called them. Well, Pizza Pie and Noobly Bob heard tell that there was going to be a big clam bake down at the briniest depths. Or maybe it was the shindig. Anyway, we all went down to bake some clams and maybe dig some shins, and on the way we ran into the paddy wagon. And I mean that literally. Whippersnapper. Paddy wagon wasn't the smallest fish, or the fastest, or the smartest, or the most articulate. Well, what was I talking about? Oh, yes, the shin bake. Anyway, Noobly Bob, Pizza Pie, and Paddy wagon went down to the briniest depths, and they were having a cakewalk. How are you going to do that if you have fins? I don't suppose you ever been to a good old-fashioned cakewalk? Not your empty threes or your listenings or the punk rock music, but back in our day a cakewalk was just about the most fun you could have with your clothes on. And it was even more fun with your clothes off. Oh dear. So we entered the paddy wagon in the cakewalk, and we had Pizza Pie swim up the paddy wagon shorts and pretend he was one of Paddy Wagon's legs so Paddy Wagon could take bigger steps. Well, Paddy Wagon and Pizza Pie won the cakewalk, sure as you're born. And we all enjoyed the cake, well, except for Pizza Pie. He was never quite the same after spending all that time in Paddy Wagon's shorts. But he never talked to us again. But hey, that's amore. Still don't get it, do you? Get off my lawn! It's actually useful. It is? Is it? Doesn't seem particularly useful, but I'm just going to keep doing things. Alright, let's try Neptune. That puts me in mind about the time Freddy, oh my gosh, gets his head stuck in things, got his head stuck in one of them Neptune fly traps. It was back in 44. Maybe 46. I think it was 44 because that was the year the factory shut down. You know, the factory used to make those things. You know what I mean. Those little things, you turn them upside down. Wasn't much call for them, not around here. So eventually they closed up shop. Quite a few folks lost their job that year back in 46, or maybe it's 44. They got through them, yes sir. We knew how to tighten our belts in those days. Not like folks these days, throwing money about like it grew on animals or something. No, sir. A sandpenny saved is a sandpenny earned. That's what my old dad used to say. He said a lot of other things, too. Like a bird killed in the hand is worth 2 killed with a 1 stone, or never give a sucker fish on his lunch break, or... To be honest with you, kid, I didn't know what he was talking about most of the time. But that one about the sand pennies and the saving and the earning them, that was a sensible thing. Oh, egg timers. That's what they made in the factory. We used to call him Freddy because it was shorter than Frederick, which was his actual name. Tell me more about Freddy Fazbear, please. Doggone it. There's an incredible list. I guess it is every monster in this place. Well, we're going to finish today with one final one. I want to be under the sea. Doggone it. Who? Oh, those fellas with the arms. Used to see them down at the country fair with those vegetables of theirs. Why, I remember one year, me and my buddy Tuba were hanging around there, watching Tuba's Aunt Selma's prize manatee, Bessie. She'd have entered in the best manatee competition that year. You see, Bessie, that is, not Selma. We called him Tuba because the tuba was one of the music instruments he couldn't play. In fact, he couldn't play any instruments at all, but the tuba was one of them. Anyway, one of those octopus guys were there and gave those radishes of theirs, you know, the ones big as your head. Those radishes were, well, maybe not your head. You got a pretty big head, kid. But they were about as big as the head of someone whose head was not as big as yours. Big radishes. That's what I'm trying to say here. You listening? So, like I was saying, me and Tuba were there keeping an eye on Bessie. That's Tuba, Aunt Tuba's, Selma's... That's Tuba's Aunt Selma's prize manatee, Bessie. What Selma entered into the manatee competition. That's what we were there to do. Though we spent most of the time chatting up the 4-H girls to the next stall and eating fried things. You can get just about any kind of food you want fried at a country fair. You know, hot dogs, ice cream, cotton candy, hell, you name it and they'll fry it. And that's how we had a good old time back in the days, eating fried food and flirting with the blonde 4-H girls. You kids these days wouldn't know anything about it, I expect. All playing those electronic shoot-'em-up things and spinning around on your heads. Why would anyone want to do something called breakdancing? That's what I'd like to know. We had the Lindy Hop, and that was plenty good for us. When I was in high school, we had a breakdance club. Those kids were frickin' amazing. I look back, I was impressed at the time, but now I look back on it, I'm like, shit, that's still amazing, even by my older person standards. It's like, how'd they do that? It's crazy. Anyway. Tomorrow is a Master of Magic Day. But the day after tomorrow, we'll pick right back up with more undersea adventures. Maybe... I mean, I do want to poke around Fantasyland more, but it's kind of expensive and... I don't know. I need to finish off the spleen stuff. I want to finish off the Sumerian and then go back to the future and finish off whatever quests going on with that. And then we'll continue in the seas. I'm kind of expecting that this week, probably by Sunday, I'll be finished with Kingdom of Loathing. I've got plans to do a week of one-offs, and I've already got access to a beta I want to try as a first impressions. Anyway, stuff. So, I'll have a day off. I'll have my character eat, drink, and make merry, because, you know, stat points are nice. I kind of don't want to waste adventures. I mean, part of me wants to do the sign thing, but part of me is like, I don't know, I got these really good buffs active. Maybe I shouldn't waste them. I don't know. Anyway. Until next time and every time, this is Hadriex, signing off. Bye.